everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Julie said to me last night, she said, Flatzoid likes to debate, didn't he? I said, yes, he does.
Yeah, I enjoy it because it's I like the hands-on approach kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. See, well, you can see that Paul and Michael definitely don't like watching Craig, do they?
No, not at all. But it doesn't. I mean, it's not for everybody though. It's only now and then. It's not like it's gonna be every day. So.
No, of course. I mean, so far it's just been on a Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is Monday today, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. Let's start us off. Okay. Hello, everybody, and we are live. I hope you are all doing well. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for coming. Really do appreciate everybody being here. I'm sorry I started a bit late, but that's how it happens when you have waiting for the power, unfortunately.
That's it.
We got PJ Cruikshank in the house. How are you doing, mister?
Yeah, I'm great. I was just reading television. Spud's comment. He says, "Shh, PJ's intro's on." It's because like everybody could hear me yesterday, couldn't they? Nobody could hear you.
Yeah. But I was so excited about that intro yesterday, and then ended up not being able to even have the sound stuff. But that sucked. But yeah, it's good to have everybody here. Tonight is just a part 2 of last week, because last week we were discussing RDD, and this week we're discussing gravity specifically. So, but it's good to see you all. I'm just going to say shout out to everybody in chat, everybody, and then I'm also just going to give a shout out to everybody in Ellemnet, as I see Hammer just joined. It's good to see you all. We can.
Oh right, they had us talking over the intro.
Oh no!
I forgot we was doing that.
Sorry guys, but now we know next time. Don't talk when the intro's on. Okay. At least we weren't talking about PJ wearing pink dresses and stuff in the intro. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was last night. That wasn't this morning. That wasn't today.
But it's good to see you all. Let me just quickly. Oh.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm leaving.
Getting down.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Damn.
I just had to leave that quickly because wow, if I didn't leave it, all I'll get is copyright strike music from.
Is that Craig's intro?
Yeah.
Shit, he's a headbanger. Oh, hiya, Julie. I didn't even know you were coming. I thought you were asleep.
Hey, Julie, good to see you.
I thought you'd gone to bed, babe. You're right.
Okay. Let me just let Mr. Do I actually have my? Okay, I don't have it on. Now I have it on. Okay. Let me launch this meeting with Mr. FTFE, and I'll talk to you later, PJ. Hey guys, thanks for coming again. Please hit that like button and share. Okay.
I'll stick myself on mute and I'll talk to you after the show. Best man. Good luck. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
I hope you're all having a wonderful start to your week. I'm having a fantastic time myself, because you know what? I'm self-employed, and I thought, why not? I'm going to drink tequila all day, and I have been. And I also made a decision that today, while I was talking to Flatzoid, that every time he says something that I consider dumb, I'm going to take a shot. This should be Patron Reposado, so aged for a few months. Nice 40% tequila, 50 quid a bottle. And every time he says something dumb, I'm going to take a shot. Could somebody please have 999 on standby, because alcohol poisoning is very definitely a possibility today.
Hello.
Hey, Flatzoid. Hello. How are you doing?
Good, in yourself? I'm just watching you contemplate suicide by alcohol poisoning, but.
I just thought today I feel like drinking tequila, and I have been. So Yeah, I'm a little bit tipsy already, but how's your Monday going over there?
That's okay considering it's a Monday. But yeah, it's good.
See, now what you've done, the problem is that you've become so dense you've fallen into a black hole. You do realize that, right? Look behind you.
Yeah, it's a wormhole, yeah. I'm bending space and time for you.
I just have the Doctor Who theme tune in my head now. Thanks a lot.
But it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for coming back, Gridzoid. Sorry, Flatzoid. People are liking your background.
I'm happy then.
Last week we had quite a good discussion about gravity. Well, at least for the flat Earth replacement for gravity, I tried very, very hard to steelman your position, which I found very difficult because your position goes against all of my knowledge and training of physics. But I tried really, really hard to steelman your position. And I was hoping that this week you could try and steelman my position and we could have a discussion around that side. Would that be all right?
Yeah, so today it's about gravity.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good. Last week we discussed RDB, quite a lot and tried to get into the crux of it. So this week let's talk about my side of it, the globe side of it. And I think the best way to start that, like I said, is you attempting to steelman my position on gravity. Are you up for that?
We can try.
Awesome. So So obviously, I think gravity is a thing. I've got tests and everything I can respond, refer to. But what do you think that gravity is? Obviously, you don't think gravity is real. We know that on you don't have gravity on what you call your model. So if you were to say, well, this is what the Globers say gravity is, what would you say?
The bending of space and time in a mathematical construct. It's just a pseudo make-believe effect based on a reference. That's about it.
See that's not really steelman in our position. That's going quite hard into a straw man of our position.
No, that's what general relativity says.
Well, the way that you put it, the make-believe part, that's we don't say that anything is make-believe.
I didn't say make-believe. Did I say the words? Did I say the words make-believe?
I thought I heard you say those specifically. Yeah.
I say a mathematical construct.
I'm pretty sure that you did say some make-believe as well. Okay. All right. Well, let's work from there because obviously there's more to it. That's part of Einstein's description. But obviously there's a lot more to gravity. So would you be able to go any deeper into attempting to steelman our position?
Yeah, we just started, so we probably got time.
What else would you say that Globers say about gravity?
Well, the problem is with gravity, you guys can't decide if... Oh, drinking the tequila already. You guys can't decide if it's a force or not a force. The issue you do have with gravity, though, is based on general relativity, you cannot have it as a force. So therefore, you either have to choose it Newtonian or it's Einsteinian. You can't have it both ways.
Okay, so again, that's a pretty hard straw man of the position. We don't say that gravity is a force. We say that there's a force created by gravity. So again, you're not really steelmanning the position. What you're doing is you're taking what you're kind of making up your own version of what we say gravity is and responding to that rather than what we say gravity is, because we don't say any of that. We say that gravity creates a force that is measurable within a Newtonian world. And we live in a Newtonian world. There is a higher mathematical world that can describe things a lot, but that's not really the world that we live in. So
which one do you ascribe to, Newtonian gravity or Einsteinian gravity?
Well, they're both the same thing.
No, they're not.
Well, that's what we say as Globers. We say that they're the same thing. You can literally derive one from the other. You can break down Einstein's 10 tensor equations around general relativity and literally derive Newton's law of universal gravitational acceleration from that. So one is the other, mathematically. But I don't have to choose which one because they're just different ways of describing the same thing. This is what I mean. I'm hoping you can steel man here, but what you've done so far is just straw man.
No, I'm not straw manning, because if you can show we are straw manned, it'd be great. How about you bring up a citation that says that Einstein gravity is the same as Newtonian gravity?
I can bring up, and I did I think last time we spoke, I showed, or maybe that was Barbara Sanchez, I don't know, they all blend together. I can bring up the mathematics that shows Einstein's tensor equations literally breaking down to Newton's law of gravity, mathematically showing that they are the same thing.
Okay, has Newton's law of gravitation got time and space bending in the equations?
No, Newton's law of gravity doesn't need that. Newton's law of gravity can be derived from Einstein's tensor equations, which have all of that.
Would you be able to show me?
Would you want to see the maths of it breaking down? I mean, let's be clear here, right? The maths is way above my head. I am really good at maths. I've got a degree in physics, done calculus and everything, degree in nuclear engineering. But the maths for this particular thing is way above my head. But I can show you the maths. That's no problem. If you give me a sec to get that up, that isn't really an issue.
Great.
But let's just work on the assumption here that what I'm saying is true, that I can present you with that evidence that one mathematically breaks down to the other. That's what
not true. That's why I'm asking you to bring it up, because it's not true.
Yeah.
One specifically is based in fourth dimensional mathematical constructs and saying gravity is only an effect, because according to Einstein, it's a effect that observed by the ground accelerating up physically while the object is only seeming to fall. So therefore the object has zero net force, as where Newtonian is totally 180 opposite, saying the ground is staying where it is and the object is physically being pulled down to the ground.
Yeah, they're just different ways of describing the same thing happening. You can look at it from one point of view, or you can look at it from the other, but they're both describing the same thing happening from our point of view, just in different ways. So let me just bring this up so everyone can see. Excuse me. This is from a lecture at a university, lecture 14, the Einstein field equation and derivation of Newton's law. And it goes quite deep into breaking down one from the other. So we're talking about Newton's classical gravitational field, and then we've got Einstein's tensor equations, Einstein's field equations expressed mathematically here. And using the Minkowski space metric in polar coordinates, you can actually convert one to the other and mathematically break down the tensor equations that Einstein uses all the way to equations of motion, right down to Newton's law of gravity.
Okay. Then I want you to show me where on that tensor does it show gravity as a force.
It doesn't, and that's a straw man of what I just said, because that's not what it shows. What it shows is that you can derive one from there is a mathematical connection.
That's where the issue comes, Craig. That's where the issue comes. You're saying
the issue. This is mathematical proof that Newton's law of gravity is part of Einstein's equations. They one can break down to the other. You can do the maths. Oh, well, it's very hard, but the maths can be done, and one breaks down to the other. You can literally get Newton's law of gravity from Einstein's tensor equations. This is something that is taught at higher level physics than a bachelor's degree, and this is a particular lecture from that.
Again, Craig, I specifically asked you a very specific question. Show me where in that tensor. No, can you derive Newton's force? And you said you can't. That's the whole point, because Einstein is not a force.
No, I didn't
Newton
say that.
Is a force.
I didn't say that. And again, as I explained to you, the maths is over my head. But you can go through the maths and get experts yourself. But this maths that I am showing you shows that the Einstein's tensor equations break down to Newton's law. It's here, and it's part of a university course for master's to PhD level physics. It is something done. Do you know how?
Do you know how it breaks down to Newton? Do you know how?
Again, I've said this
by calling. Wait, I want to explain.
Several times the maths is over my head. You can do it, and here is the maths. You can't explain it because you don't understand the maths. Don't pretend that you understand maths. I don't.
Craig, it breaks down to Einstein showing that it's not a force; it's only an effect caused by an inertial frame of reference. That's what it breaks down to.
And
It doesn't show.
And what it shows,
Listen,
what it
listen.
shows, it
I'm still
literally does
talking.
show.
I'm still
What you just
talking.
said is wrong. It literally does show that Einstein's tensor equations mathematically break down to Newton's law of gravity. You can mathematically derive Newton's law of universal gravitational constant attraction from Einstein's tensor equations. They
Listen.
are mathematically linked. This isn't something that's up for discussion. This is just a fact.
Listen, the problem is that on Newtonian gravity, it requires a force. With Einstein,
Gravity creates.
there's no such thing as a force. It is only
It's just a different way of describing it. That's all.
It's only a reference effect based in a mathematical construct.
All it is a
that
different way of
shows-
describing the same
No.
thing.
Okay.
What you're doing here is arguing with the maths,
No,
right?
no.
What you're saying is the maths is wrong and I'm right.
No.
So what you need to do, what you need to do is show where that maths that shows that Einstein's tensor equations break down to Newton's law is wrong.
Again.
Can you do that? I don't think you can because the maths is a little bit over my head. But the maths is there. You cannot just say no because it's there.
Again. Okay.
So I've asked you
According-
to show that position.
the-
And if you don't agree with this, then you are strawmanning it.
Again, the part that I'm trying to explain to you is Newtonian gravity says the apple is physically being pulled to the ground. That means it's got a physical
It describes
force
it that
applied.
way, yes. It describes it that way 100%. Yes.
Einstein says it's the ground physically moving up towards the apple. The apple sits at zero. net
Absolutely,
force.
Einstein describes it as that way. It's just different ways of looking at it, resulting in the same thing.
No, not the same thing.
Yes, absolutely the same. I just showed you it's the same thing. Do you want to see the maths again? You can.
Did the apple
maths
fall?
again.
Did the apple fall in Einstein's gravity?
Did the apple fell in all versions? The
No,
apple went
it never
towards
fell.
the ground.
The apple
Ground went
never.
towards the apple. Right. So from our perspective, right, as a human, right, looking at it, that apple fell towards the ground. However, if we were on the apple, we could say, oh no, the ground's moving towards the apple. All it is different ways of looking at the same thing. Once again, you can't go nuh-uh because the maths says you're wrong.
That's the thing.
Right.
The one that says he doesn't understand the maths is telling me the maths says something.
Well, I can
That's-
show you the
that's-
maths here and show you the conclusions of the maths. And just because I cannot personally do the maths because it's a little over my head, I could probably go through it and follow it, but to do it would take a little bit of studying. However, that doesn't stop the maths from existing. And I am, I'll bring it up on the screen again in case the short-term memory loss or something was an issue there. But here again is the maths literally showing, and let's read the title together. Lecture 14, the Einstein field equations and derivation of Newton's law. So this lecture,
Do you know what derivation means? Do you know what derivation means?
I do. Yes, you can. It means that you can mathematically break down one from the other.
But does it say it actually proves Newton's law, or does it just derive from Newton's law?
You get Newton's law. You actually end up with Newton's law.
Show me where it ended up with Newton's law, please.
That's what this is. You are the derivation of Newton's law. You are deriving Newton's law from Einstein's field equation. That's what this lecture and this maths is about.
Okay.
The Einstein field equation and derivations of Newton's law. So Einstein's field equations show how the surface's gravitational field is all to the metric. They can actually be motivated by Newton's law of gravitational potential, with which we begin this discussion. So there you go. They're saying how you can actually describe one with the other. That says it straight away. And if you follow the maths all the way through, it shows you breaking down Einstein's tensor equations to Newton's law of gravity. That's exactly what this entire lecture is. Hence the title, the Einstein field equations and derivation of Newton's law.
Remember.
So it's there.
Remember, and derivation. So it's a derivation.
Yes, and exactly. You are deriving Newton's law from Einstein's tensor equations. That's what this is.
Again, it's not. It's saying it's the same thing, Craig.
No, it actually is. You again.
Okay, let me try and put it in layman's terms.
Hold on. You don't try and.
I'm going to try and put it in layman's terms for you.
Because you don't even understand the title here. The title is saying you can derive Newton's law from Einstein's tensor equations, and that's what this entire mathematics is about.
Craig, okay, let's take a car, for instance, and a person walking across the street. The car
Yeah, okay. So
physically
let's not
drives.
do that and talk about the maths here.
The car physically drives into the person. Now you can derive from the person getting hit by the car. Did that change that?
I don't think you know what the word derivation means.
You derived the situation that
I genuinely
if the
don't
person-
think you know
listen,
what the word derivation means.
Listen, if the person...
Can you do me a favor before you continue?
Can you shut up and let me talk
define-
for once in your life,
Yeah,
Craig?
yeah. Could you define the word
Craig,
derivation before
No,
you because
no,
I
you
don't
can
think
you
know
can
the word
listen to what
derivation.
you can listen to what I'm saying. So they derived that the car hit the person because the person...
No, they
walked
didn't. That's not
across-
what the word derivation means.
Listen, can you shut up? Because the person walked across the street. If the person did not walk across the street,
No, that's not what the word
the
derivation
car
means.
could not hit the person. Therefore, they had to derive the account of the car hitting the person because
That
the
is not
person
what the word
crossed the street.
derivation means.
Go on, explain what derivation
That is
means.
not what the word derivation means
Go on, explain.
at all. Do you not know what the word derivation means?
Go.
Like in maths specifically?
Go. I'm waiting.
Okay. So derivation in calculus, the derivation is a concept related to differentiation, which is a mathematical function. The derivation of a function measures the sensitivity to change of the function value, output value, with respect to a change in its argument, input value. It is often described as the rate of change or slope of a function. Or derivations in abstract algebra. In abstract algebra, a derivation is a function on an algebra which generalizes certain features of the derivation operator. Specifically, a derivation is a function that, like the derivative, is linear and satisfies the product rule. That is what derivation means in mathematics.
Now,
it means that you can relate one to the other with the slope of a function, specifically showing the extremely complicated mathematics of Einstein's tensor equations can, using the slope of a function x over something, become the Newton's law of gravity. They are mathematically related.
Okay, Craig.
What you said
Craig,
is not what the word derivation
Craig,
means.
what you just did was read it live
I
on
just need to do
screen.
another shot.
What you just
Yes.
read it live on screen, and what you just said was exactly what I said in layman's terms.
No,
Thank
it
you.
wasn't in the slightest.
Do you know what you just read? Word for word. You want to go
Yeah,
for word for word, and then I can tell
Yeah,
you
it's-
how it
So,
validates what
all
I
right, all
said.
right. Please tell me how a car hitting a person is related to the slope of a function.
Again, let's
Go
go
on.
first. Read your first question.
No. That specific question I've got. Please
Listen,
explain to me
read-
how a person being hit by a car is related to the slope of a function or the rate of change. Go on.
Because you derived if the person was not in that frame.
That's
you
not
would
what the
not
word
hit-
derive means.
Listen. Yes, you said I could read the first two.
I'm sorry. I need to stop.
Read the first. I think you should stop drinking. It's getting worse for you. Read the first two
Hell no.
sentences. Read the first two sentences. Read the first two sentences out that you said what on that definition.
In calculus, the derivation is a concept related to differentiation. Okay, that's the first sentence. Do you know what that means?
Yes, go on. We're waiting. I'm trying to get to my point. Go on.
Go on.
Second.
So the second sentence is the derivation of a function measures the sensitivity to change of the function value, the output value, with respect to the change in its argument input value. It is often described as the rate of change or slope of a function.
Great.
So, once
the
again,
change
please
of its
explain
argument
how
value.
a person being hit by a car is the slope of a function.
So a change in its argument value. So did the person hit the car or did the
Input
car?
value.
Listen. Did the person hit the car or did the car hit the person, Craig?
That's not input value. So,
Oh yes, it is.
no, it's not.
Okay. Did the person hit the car?
You don't know what any of these words mean, do you?
Craig, did the person hit the car or did the car hit the person?
That's irrelevant to the mathematics and what the word
Did
derivative.
the person hit the car or did the car hit the person, Craig?
Depends which way you want to look at it. You can look at it from both ways and give a correct answer.
So it's derived in different ways.
No,
Congratulations.
that's not what the word derived means. Oh. That is literally not what the word derived means. I'm Flatzoid, your ability to be confidently wrong is quite envious to me.
I love your projection, mate.
Your ability to not let facts interfere with your opinion is fascinating, honestly.
I love how your projection just shows you the ignorant one.
None of that is, I mean, you don't even know what the word derivation means, like in the slightest. Do you know what, like, can you define what the slope of a function is for me?
We don't live in a calculus world, mate, so I don't need to say a slope
Well,
of a
we can
function.
actually describe the world with calculus. Could you tell me what the slope of a function is for me?
No, I don't need to, because you don't live in maths.
Oh, right. So what you're saying is the slope of a function is the same as a kid being hit by a car, but I don't know what it is and it doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying it's derived. We were talking about derivatives. You're
Right, give me the definition of the word derivation, the word derived for me.
Again, we derived. You could have it two ways of the argument. Did the car hit the person,
No, I just want you to define the word
or
derived
the
for me.
person hit the car, Craig, and you still can't answer me on that.
Well, I said both are the correct answer depending on the point of view.
So
I
it's
did answer you.
derived from another. Thank you very much.
No, that's not what the word derived means.
What does
Define
derived
the
mean?
word derived.
You telling
I've
me,
asked you to define the word derived.
you telling me that's not what
Well,
it means.
I gave you the word derived in mathematical, but
Craig,
context.
Craig, what does
you know any
derived mean?
word?
Craig, what does derived mean then? If that's not what derived means, without looking
the
it up, why you keep on having?
related to
Why you
differentiation.
keep on having?
Well, I've
to
got my
look it up?
notes.
Ah,
What I do is I've got my notes to the side, and
So
I
script,
refer
guys.
to my
So
notes when I'm
script.
talking.
so someone works with a
Notes
script.
sorry, are notes a script or are they notes that help you with a conversation? Because an intelligent person makes notes and refers to notes when they're having a conversation.
No, an intelligent person knows the argument before they need to talk about it.
So no, yeah, an intelligent person also has notes that they can refer to for facts and information. That's what an actual intelligent
And
person
that
does.
is why you don't
For
know.
instance,
and that's the why-
when
Craig,
Einstein was asked, for instance, when Einstein was asked, what's the speed of sound? Einstein responded, I don't know. And the interviewer was a bit shocked. He's like, why don't you know? Einstein said, well, it's not important for me to carry such information in my head. What's important is the knowledge of how the world works and how to correctly, figure out what is going on. Einstein didn't care about having specific numbers in his head because he always had notes that he referred to. What Einstein thought was important was the knowledge of how the world worked and using that. It doesn't matter if you don't have an eidetic memory with a large list of information. I make notes so that I can refer to them and make less mistakes when I'm talking.
Okay.
That's what an intelligent person does.
Okay, then let's put it this way. If Einstein was going to have a debate on sound, then would he make sure he knows what he's talking about?
He probably wouldn't have every little bit of information about sound put in his head. He would probably have a bunch of notes about sound that he would take to the debate that he could refer to.
So you're saying Einstein
did you ever
would
do
have short...
did you ever do debate class in school?
So you would say Einstein would have short-term memory loss?
No, not at all. But Einstein, like he said, he doesn't keep those little bits of information in his head. He will have those bits of information available at hand that he can look up. What's the point of having every little bit of information in your head when we can just look that information up? It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna be quite...
Having an eidetic memory is not an equivalence to intelligence.
I'm going to be quite plain out here. You saw the debate with Farina and Dr.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised that Professor Dave hasn't gone into hiding after that murder of James Tour, to be honest.
No. Remember, James Tour wrote out every single chemical composition out. Mr. Farina, really with his notes in front of him, wasn't able to write one chemical compound down. What does that show you? Again, that's
not important. It doesn't matter.
Yes, that does, because that's exactly what
the knowledge of how to use it is more important than having that knowledge. That knowledge, that chemical compound can be looked up. That's fine. What's important is the knowledge of how these things work and how to apply them correctly.
Right. So
metric memory is not an important thing.
So tensors, you brought it up.
So how does it work? Yeah, what about it?
You just said.
How does a metric tensor work?
Yeah.
That's not a question that makes any sense. You can't answer that question because how does a metric tensor work isn't a question that makes sense. You could maybe ask the question, what is a metric tensor?
It's a mathematical mapping out. That's all it is. It's mathematical mapping.
So you can ask what it is, but not the question that you just asked.
I just answered you. It's a mathematical mapping, mate. That's what a metric tensor is.
Yeah, but that wasn't the thing that you asked. That's, like I said, you can say what it is. It doesn't matter.
Look,
But
listen for once in your life, Craig. Listen
what
for
you
once.
say is what you said wasn't right anyway. So
Listen for once in your life, Craig. You have notes in front of you. You claiming to
yes,
say that
notes are important in a debate.
it doesn't matter if you have the notes as long as you understand it. So
What you're
now
saying is
you brought up the notes that you don't understand. Do you see your problem here?
No, that's not what I said. Nice straw man. What I said is knowing every single detail, like every single variable, every single equation, every single number, that's not important. Knowing how these things work is important.
Yeah. So
Can I do maths around tensor equations? Yes. Can I do maths around tensor equations? Yes, I've done pre-calculus and stuff. So yes, I can.
So
have I successfully done that maths? It's very hard. You give me a couple of weeks and I'd be able to go through it. But I understand how math works. That doesn't mean that maths can't be hard for me to do. You don't understand how maths works. You don't know what a derivation is. You don't know what a slope of a function is. You don't even know what a differentiation is. Okay, I doubt you even know basic mathematical notation.
I thought we were talking about gravity here and your understanding
Well,
of
you're
the
the one
difference and the difference between.
You're the one that took it off the.
Why can't I say more than 2 sentences? And the difference between Einsteinian and Newtonian gravity. Instead, you're trying to project your ignorance onto me and try to.
I know I don't have any. I'm not the one with the ignorance
and
here.
attack my character, and that's exactly what Dave Farina did.
I didn't
with
attack your
Dr. Tour,
character.
by the way,
I
from
didn't attack
beginning
your
to
character
end.
once. Hey, hold on. I haven't once attacked your character.
Oh really? You don't understand this. You're just dumb.
Yeah, that's not attacking. That's not attacking your
I'm
character.
Gonna drink tequila every time you say
Ignorance is
something
not
dumb.
attacking.
You don't understand.
So that's again, all right. That's not attacking your character.
Yes,
okay?
it is.
And in fact,
It's character
here's
assassination.
the thing. I spend a lot of time lately defending you to people because I think that you and I have built up a decent rapport. I spoke to you personally on a lot of things, and I think, despite our heated discussions, I think that we kind of get on quite well. And compared to a lot of flat earthers that I know, I think you're a decent person. And I've spent a lot of time saying this, so I don't attack your character. Saying that I think you're stupid isn't attacking your character. Calling you ignorant isn't attacking your character, because you can be a decent person and you can also be thick. But calling you thick because you are isn't attacking your character. It's a statement of fact.
Okay, then I'm gonna say, why are you projecting so hard?
I haven't projected hard in the slightest. You don't know what the word derivation in mathematics means.
You just literally read it out after I explained it
but
in
you don't know
terms.
No, you didn't. What you said was the wrong thing. You didn't explain it to me in layman's terms. You said something wrong.
Okay, let's put this way.
What you said about derivation is not what the word derivation means.
Okay,
That's literally not what derivation is.
Can I derive a pressure from having an object on a scale?
No, that's not what the word derive means.
So I can't derive a pressure from having an object on the scale then?
No, that's not what the word derive means, no.
I didn't say that's what the word... I said, so I can or can I not?
No, you can't, because that's not what the word derive means.
So you can't derive pressure from an object on a scale?
No, because that's not what the word derive means. Saying, can I derive the pressure from putting an object on a scale is a sentence.
Okay, now I'm going to educate you. Do you know that your weight...
You're going to say something wrong.
Your weight on a scale is simply the measurement of the pressure on the load cell.
No,
so
it's
I derived.
Again, that's not what the word derive means. No, you didn't, because that's not what the word derive means. You keep saying the word wrong.
Okay, what does derive mean, Craig? Since you're so clever.
It's the slope of a function.
No, not calculus. Not calculus derive. I'm talking about the word derive, not calculus derive. What does the word derive means? What does the word derive mean?
Within mathematics, which is our complete discussion here, that's what it means. It's the relationship to differentiation, the slope of a function, or you could have it in advanced algebra and mean something slightly different. But it's a mathematical value describing the change of rate.
So derived. Derived?
Yeah. What about it?
You just said my point, mate.
No, I didn't. I mean, you've said that what you keep saying is this is what derived means, and you're wrong. That's literally
Why
not.
do you say the same thing? Congratulations.
No, I didn't say the same thing. I said it's the slope of a function, a change of rate. It's nothing to do with whatever you said. And this requires another shot.
Oof.
Like, I don't understand why you keep saying it's the same thing when what you're saying is not what it is.
Have you noticed how this has gone away from you obfuscating the fact that Einstein's gravity is not the same as Newtonian gravity?
Well, apart from the fact you can derive one from the other, of course.
So making my point again. Did the car hit the person or did the person hit the car?
Not a relationship, not an equivalent thing to say, because that's not what the word drive means.
Exactly my point again. According to Einstein...
Your point is that you don't know what the word drive means. Brilliant. Okay, you don't know what the word drive means.
Okay, I'm going to tell you to keep quiet for 2 minutes so I can explain to you quickly, okay? Okay, Craig, would that work for you?
You can. I mean, I'll get a shot ready because this is going to be obviously something that needs one, right?
Okay, we'll take Newton as the person and Einstein as the car. Newton is the force. He walked across the street. Einstein is the car. He hit the guy. Okay? So, did Newton, the person, hit the car? Or did the car hit the person, Newton?
Both. You can describe it in both ways.
So you can derive one from the other?
That's not what the word drive means, no. Stop using that word wrongly.
So I cannot derive the force that the car hit the person from the person walking in front of the car and getting hit by the car.
No, because that's not what the word derive means. This is a simple misunderstanding. I mean, I don't know if it's a language barrier or what, but it's simply you not knowing what that word means. You know, there is a relationship between Einstein, general relativity, and Newton's law of gravity. In fact, Einstein even said that without Newton's law, he could never have come up with what he did. They are mathematically related. You can take Einstein's tensor equations, do some really cool maths, and end up with Newton's law. That's a thing. So therefore, they describe the same thing, just from different points of view. It's as simple as that.
Making my point again. Thank you, Craig. Derive. You can see my screen?
No, it's not making your point.
Obtain something from a specific source. So,
exactly not what you said.
Did the guy hit the car or did the car hit the guy? Which was the specific source?
Why do you keep asking the same thing that I've answered?
Base a concept on an extension or modification of another concept. So, the concept was, did the guy hit the car or did the car hit the guy?
That's not a concept, that's a question. I don't think you know what the word no. Now please look up the word concept, because that's not a concept, that's a question.
Okay, based on...
Are you struggling with basic English here? Based on
F equals MA, Craig, did the car hit the guy or did the guy hit the car?
One sec. If you want to describe it, Newtonian, you can describe it as both, actually, so it's fine.
Again, according to F equals MA, did the car hit the guy?
Both would have applied a force to both.
Sorry?
There will be according to Newton's laws, there's an equal and opposite reaction, meaning that the force applied by the car to the person has an equal and opposite force in the other direction. So to answer your questions, both things happened.
So derived from each other, you bloody moron. Congratulations.
That's not what the word derive means. Why don't you know what the word derive means?
You just saying nah while it's on screen is just showing you being very dishonest.
You are literally saying the wrong thing about the word on screen. That's not what the word derive means.
I've got you to concede my point.
The fact you don't
I haven't in the slightest.
Not in the slightest. Craig. You have failed very hard on steel manning my position on gravity. Really, really hard.
I've educated you. I've educated you.
No, not in the slightest. Don't think you educated me. Don't think you've educated someone that actually has a degree in physics and understands these things. Because my degree in physics, again, is disagreeing with everything you're saying. Every person in the world with a degree in physics says, no, Flatzoid, you are wrong. But you think that you are right, even though Physics says that you are wrong. Physics says that Einstein and Newton, both their descriptions of gravity are intrinsically linked. One is mathematically derived from the other. You can break down one from the other because they describe the same thing on vastly different methods. That's it.
Again,
you have
conceding my point. Congratulations.
Fundamentally. Well, so you agree your point is that they're the same. Brilliant.
No,
So well done. Well, if that's what you say, then you have successfully steelmanned my position.
No.
Because when I asked you to steelman my position, you have failed. All you've done so far is strawman my position and say things that are wrong, because this isn't the globe position that you are saying. What you are saying is the opposite of the globe position, is the opposite of what physics say, is the opposite of what people that are... No, not yet. No, I'll finish my point, thank you. It's the opposite of what everyone in the world who teaches this to people say. You are saying that you are right, and everyone else in the world that's ever studied this is wrong. That is why you came second in top left.
Okay, Craig, now that your really childish ad homs have stopped, can I talk a bit?
I didn't ad hom once. I don't think you know what an ad hom means either, to be quite honest.
You're attacking my character, not the argument.
I haven't attacked your character once.
So you lie too now?
So
you're also a liar then? Congratulations.
Again, I haven't attacked your character once. Saying that you don't understand things is not attacking your character. It's pointing out a fact. You do not understand physics. That's not an attack on your character or an ad hom. It is a factual statement.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say you conceded my point again, Craig. Now,
I didn't.
You start talking
so you just lied.
Now, before you start talking
I will talk
again,
over you if you lie. Absolutely. Don't lie and say that I've conceded, because I haven't. All right.
If you're going to start talking over me, if you're going to start talking over me all the time, then I think I'm just going to shut up and watch you talk and act like a baboon. How's that?
Well, I've still waited for you to try and steelman my position, and you haven't managed to do...
You just conceded 2 minutes ago that I steelmanned you, so congratulations.
Oh, yeah, if you agree that they're the same thing, then you steelman.
Not the same thing. So, you can't steelman something that's not the same thing, Craig. But you can derive...
The globe position, they are the same thing.
But you can derive the same outcome from them. That doesn't mean they're the same thing, Craig.
They describe the same thing. They are the same thing. Mathematically, they break down to the same thing. The globe position is that they are the same thing. So to steelman, you have to accept that as the globe position. No. You don't have to accept it as what you think, right? But you have to accept it as the globe position, because that is the globe position.
No, the globe position is Einstein's general relativity superseded Newtonian gravity.
No, it's not. Again, that's a straw man of the globe position. That's a straw man of the globe position. It's just a much better explanation of it, a more accurate explanation of it.
Do you know what superseded means?
Newton's law has never been debunked. It is never something that isn't used. In fact, everything in engineering uses Newton's law. Do you drive a car?
Yep.
Okay, Newton's law of gravity was taken into account designing that car. Have you gone across a bridge recently? Have you gone across a bridge recently? Yes or no? It's a simple question. Have you gone? I'm going to assume you have gone across a bridge recently. Do you know what they used making that bridge? They used Newton's law of gravity, because it's something that is used every day in engineering, all of the time. So it's not something that has been superseded, forgotten, not used. Einstein has a much better explanation of what gravity is than Newton, a much more accurate explanation for what gravity is. But we don't need to use that complicated version. For us here on Earth, Newton works perfectly. So I'm still waiting for you to steelman the globe position. You haven't done it yet.
What does that say, Craig?
What does what say?
I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah? What about it?
What does it say? Read it out for the audience, please.
Yeah. Well, it says Newton's classic mechanics were superseded in the early 20th century. But like I said, that's not what it means.
Okay.
And obviously Wikipedia.
Now I'm going to show.
Favor. One second. If we're using Wikipedia as a source, can we just ask Wikipedia what shape the Earth is? Right.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, right?
What does superseded mean, Craig?
Let me finish.
What does superseded mean?
Let me finish.
What does superseded mean, Craig?
To say that it's superseded. Let me finish.
What does superseded mean, Craig?
Let me finish. To say that it's been superseded
I'm
means
waiting.
that it's not used anymore. To say that it's been superseded means that it's not used anymore. Okay.
Take
So
the place. Take a place.
okay. So again, to say that it's superseded means that it's not used anymore. Okay. It hasn't taken the place because Newton's law is still used. So
Again.
Einstein's version of gravity hasn't superseded Newton's version of gravity that we use every day in engineering because it is still used. So the question that you keep avoiding is Newton's law used in engineering today? Yes or no?
Again, stop pointing a different argument.
Is Newton's law used in engineering?
Can
Yes or no?
Can you stick to the argument?
Yes or no question. Yeah, this is the question, okay? So superseded means it wouldn't be used anymore. So
Okay,
I have a
so-
yes or no question for you. Please answer my yes or no question.
We'll get there
Is
once
Newton's law
we're
of gravity-
finished. We'll get there once we're finished with my
okay, no,
argument,
you can-
Craig. Time to grow.
Just-
Time to grow up your
Just one
balls.
question.
Time
Just
to,
one question,
time
and then we can get back to your
time-
argument.
no,
Is
no,
Newton's law of gravity
Craig, no,
used
Craig,
in engineering? Yes
Craig,
or no?
Craig,
Is Newton's law of gravity used in
Craig,
engineering? Yes or no?
Craig.
It's a yes or no
Craig,
question.
Craig.
It's a, yeah,
Craig.
we can continue just after you do this yes or no question for me because we can't continue until you've done this. Is Newton's law of gravity used in engineering today? Yes or no?
Supersede.
It's a yes or no question, Flatzoid.
Supersede.
Over to you. Is
Supersede.
Newton's law of gravity used in engineering
Supersede.
today? Yes or no? If you don't say
Super-
anything, I'm just
Supersede.
going to accept your answer as yes,
Supersede.
and then we can move on.
Supersede.
So I'll give you 5 seconds to respond,
Supersede.
and then we can get back to
Supersede.
what you were saying. So
Super-
I'll ask the question once more.
Supersede.
Is Newton's law of gravity,
Supersede.
Fg equals gm1
Supersede.
m2 over r squared, used in
Supersede.
engineering today?
Supersede.
Yes or no? If you
Supersede.
don't say yes in 5 seconds,
Supersede.
then you just accept the answer. 5,
Supersede.
4,
Supersede.
3,
Supersede.
Supersede.
2,
Supersede.
Supersede.
1.
Supersede.
Supersede.
Supersede. Okay, he's
Right,
stopped
okay, so
talking.
you agree,
As
and
the
also, now
guy
here's the
stopped
next thing.
talking.
Also,
never mind.
can you please
Supersede.
point out where that says anything about gravity
Supersede.
for me?
Supersede.
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 Yeah,
Supersede.
can you
Supersede.
yeah, and go back and point out where it says gravity for me?
Supersede. Again, do you know
Yeah,
what
we know what the word supersede means. Yeah, now
Okay,
go back to the
so
previous page and
was- so-
supersede gravity for me.
So was Einstein, was Newtonian mechanics superseded by Newtonian gravity?
Was Newtonian? Go back to the previous slide and we'll read what it said again.
Was Newton's gravity
Yeah,
superseded?
Let's go back to the
by-
previous slide and we'll read what it said.
Classical mechanics. Do you know what Newton's
Okay,
classical
so
mechanics are?
is Newton's classical mechanics, is that Newton's law of gravity? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, Newton's classical mechanics is not Newton's law of gravity.
F equals ma.
That's not Newton's law of gravity.
So there's no F equals ma in Newton's law of gravity. Are you sure about that?
Newton's law of gravity is Fg equals gm1 m2 over r squared. That's what Newton's law of gravity
So
is.
F equals ma. The force
No.
accelerates the mass.
Okay, so
So
Fg
a derivative-
that is not Newton's law of gravity.
So
That
it's
is
a
Newton's
derivative.
They're
You
different
said
things.
you said
It's
you
not a derivative.
Guys, this guy says
Newton's
he
law of
knows what a
gravity, not
derivative is.
classical mechanics.
He knows what derivative
You
is
don't
and
know
does
what-
understand that a derivative of F equals ma is his g.
No, it's not. That's not what derivative means in this. Oh my god, definitely need the fucking. That is not what the word derivative means. Right. So 2 things. Number 1, Newton's classical mechanics is not Newton's law of gravity. So Newton's law of gravity was not superseded. All right. Newton's classical mechanics was superseded, not Newton's law of gravity. They aren't the same thing. Just so you know.
Derive F equals ma from Newton's second law derivation. There we go.
Yeah. Again, that's nothing to do with gravity. That's Newton's second law, not Newton's law of gravity. They're not the same. You know that, right?
Sorry. What does your gravity state according to Newton?
Our gravity. Right. Do you want to attempt to steelman it before I tell you?
I'll ask you a question.
Yeah. Before, but the idea of this was you attempting to steelman me. So do you want to steelman that before I answer?
Again, according to Newtonian gravity, what is the derivative for the force?
That's not a question that makes any sense.
It's the force that causes the mass to accelerate. Correct, Craig?
That's not Newton's law of gravity. No, that's Newton's first law. They're different things.
Second law.
Sorry, yeah, Newton's again. That's not Newton's law of gravity. That's Newton's second law. They're not the same thing. Newton's law of gravity is not Newton's second law. So, do you know what Newton's law of gravity says?
Does mass, the acceleration of mass, require a force according to Newtonian gravity, Craig?
That's not what Newtonian gravity says. Newtonian gravity. Do you know? I guess I'm going to have to educate you because you obviously don't know what Newtonian gravity says. So Newtonian gravity says that there is a force created that we call the force of gravity that is proportional to the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. That's what Newton's law of gravity says.
Great. And what's acceleration, Craig?
A change of speed over time.
With the distance, correct?
Change in speed over time.
With the distance.
So a change in speed over time.
Yeah, and this change of speed over time requires a distance, Craig.
Changing speed over time requires a distance. Again, that's not a sentence that makes any sense.
You travel over a distance.
Correct, you do travel.
Speed over time. Like kilometers an hour.
So acceleration is speed over time, not distance.
I didn't say it was distance, but I said it's got a distance.
You just did several times. You just said it was distance.
It's got a distance. Oh, strawmanning me now. I said it's got a distance. I didn't say it is a distance. There's a way you
literally said is a distance.
There's a way
Those were the words that came out of your mouth.
No. Okay, now you're lying too. Quickly rewind.
I'm not lying. Those were the words that came out of your mouth.
Rewind and show where I said it is literally a distance. Show me.
I can't do that live right now.
Okay,
sorry.
Let's quickly go to YouTube and see if we can find it quickly. We can quickly rewind 2 minutes.
So you're avoiding the subject now.
I'm sorry. If I find you lying now, can I say then I can decide to call you a proven liar?
No, because I didn't lie. Can we just get on with the discussion?
No. We'll quickly do it. Since you are too
No,
much
let's just get on with the discussion.
No,
come on. Let's get back to the discussion of Newton, right? And could you tell me once again, just so everyone can hear, is Newton's classical mechanics the same as Newton's law of gravity? Yes or no?
You're lying too.
Is it? Do you know?
I'm quickly.
Why can't you answer?
I'm quickly finding your lie.
It's a yes or no question. Is Newton's classical mechanics? So is Newton's classical mechanics the same as Newton's law of gravity? Yes or no?
It's derived from the same function.
No. That is oh my god. No, they're not derived from the same function. That again is not a sentence that in this context makes any sense. You have no clue about mathematics.
So mass,
in the slightest.
So mass doesn't attract mass anymore. Thank you. Congratulations.
Again, there is a force applied that is proportional to the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So if you are going to steal man,
did you require a force for the mass to accelerate, Craig?
Did you require a force in Newton's classical mechanics? F equals ma.
Craig. Here we go.
Changing speed over time requires a distance. Is Newton's classical mechanics the same as the law of universal gravitational attraction?
Okay.
Are they the same thing?
Quickly.
Yes or no? Are they the same thing?
Quickly shut your mouth so we can listen to how you lied quickly.
Are they the same thing? Yes or no?
You travel over a distance.
Are they
speed over time? Like kilometers an hour?
You're not saying anything, by the way. Acceleration is speed over time, not distance.
I didn't say it was distance, but I said it's got a distance.
You just did. Several times you just said it was distance.
It's got a distance. Oh, strawman.
I'm not surprised in slurring, guys. I had quite a lot of tequila.
There we go. Yeah, you just lied. Thank you. Congratulations. You showed.
I didn't anything that you said.
I didn't say literally it is distance. That's what you said. You said I said it's literally distance.
You said that acceleration requires distance.
No.
That is what I said.
I said, does it?
You said acceleration requires... Go back and acceleration requires distance.
Again,
those were the words that came out of your mouth.
Again,
not straw man. They came the words.
Again, straw
the words that came out of your mouth. Not. I don't think you know what straw man means, honestly. You don't know what any words mean. You
And
said
now the ad-homs again.
acceleration.
Wow.
You don't know what ad-hom means. This is insane. You don't know what any of these words mean. That's not an ad-hom.
You attacking
Please
my
learn what
character.
an ad-hom
You
is.
attacking my character,
not
not the
attacking your
argument.
character.
You
That's
attacking my-
not attacking your character. Just saying you don't understand something is not attacking your character.
You saying I don't
Calling
understand it.
ignorant, it's not. You don't understand it. That's not attacking your character. That's a fact.
Yet I just told you what it means, you bloody moron. Now I'm not
No,
ad-homing
you
you. I'm
didn't.
literally calling fact. You're a moron.
The thing is, I'm not though.
Yes,
Everything
you
that you
are.
said, the words that
whole-
you are using is wrong. You are using the words wrong. You don't know what the word derived
This
fucking means.
whole live stream, you have been conceding my point through and through, and you don't even realize it.
I
That
haven't
is how
conceded
dumb
it.
you are.
But you agreed with me. You agreed that Newton's law and Einstein are the same thing. You agreed that with me.
No, I did not. I said they
Yeah, you
could be
did.
derived to give the same effect. It does not make it the same thing.
That means
That's
that they are the
also-
same thing. That
is
literally means
also-
that.
That again, that's also a straw man, and no, it doesn't literally mean
It's
the same
not.
thing.
I can't strawman my own position.
You
You
strawman
are
mine.
strawman.
Greg, why would you come on his
position.
show drunk, dude? Why would you come on Flatzoid's show
Yeah, but
drunk?
this is about my position, not yours.
Again, you are the one straw manning what my argument is.
No, I don't. Again, I don't want your argument. I've been asking you to steelman my argument, and you're failing.
I'm not here to steel man your argument. I'm here to
You agreed
explain,
at the beginning that that's what you would do.
and
You agreed that you would do that, and you failed.
I'm steel manning the mechanics of the argument, not your argument.
You're not, though. You're getting that wrong.
Yet you've conceded it in at least 7 different
I
ways.
didn't concede it. I didn't concede it in the slide. Now you're being a liar because I haven't conceded
This
anything.
is live, Craig. Everybody has been
Flat, see,
listening.
when alcohol's
Yeah, I'm
involved,
aware
it
there's
becomes
500
an
people
argument,
watching
not
my
a bloody
channel, and they've
debate.
all seen
It's
you
being
literally
an
just
idiot,
lie.
An absolute.
Because I haven't
incompetent
conceded
idiot.
anything. Saying I've conceded anything is a lie.
Okay,
Because
Craig.
all I've been
He
trying to
wouldn't
do
even
is
let
get
you
you to
talk. He
steal
wouldn't
my
even let you
position,
talk
which
a
you
little
have
bit.
failed to do.
Okay, Craig.
Because my
Craig.
position and the globe position is that Einstein's gravity and Newton's gravity describe the same thing, just in very different ways. So if you want to steelman the globe position, that is what you have to say. I don't care if that's what you agree with, but that is the globe position. Newton's law of gravity was never superseded. Classical mechanics, maybe in certain circumstances. But what you brought up there never said that Newton's law of gravity was superseded. It said that Newton's classical mechanics
Can you
was.
can you do
They
me a
are
favor?
not the same
Can
thing.
you do me a favor? Can you bring up the G constant derivative quickly, please?
Can I bring up the G constant derivative? That's not a question that makes any sense.
Bring up Newtonian gravity, please. Your equation.
Fg equals gm1m2 over r squared.
Bring it up on screen so Mr. Big Man here can show little child man who can't stop talking what it means.
I know what it means. It means
doesn't
that
even
it
know
creates
how
a
they-
force
that was
proportional to
derived.
the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Yeah, I've got to write this down for you, apparently, so bear with me one sec. Fg equals... I wrote that wrong because I'm quite drunk.
That explains a yacht, yeah.
Exactly, that explains
Big
it, man. You
G,
should be drunk on a flipping
Fg
debate,
equals G
idiot.
m1 m2 over r squared. There we go. There's Newton's law of gravity for you. All right.
Can't see anything.
I'm showing it on my screen.
It might be better if you just quickly pull it up on Google and share screen. It might be easier.
Oh, right. Oh, why can't you see the Zoom call?
No, it's very low res from your side. Zoom is unfortunately low res from what I get from you, though.
I don't know why I get quite a high quality picture from you. All right, so you just want me to bring up Newton's law of gravity, which could you again just tell me what Newton's law of gravity is? Do you know?
No, go up. I'm gonna go. We're gonna
You
go
just
through
said it, dude.
We're gonna go step by step, and I'm going to explain it to you
And
like
you're
with a
going to
child.
get things wrong. You're going to get things wrong about it.
Oh, just like you've been conceding my whole point this whole time.
I
Congratulations.
haven't conceded anything. Don't say that I've conceded because that makes you a liar.
No,
Okay?
it makes you.
Yeah, because I haven't
It
conceded. No, I disagree
makes
that
you
I have not.
delusional.
So saying that I have conceded makes you a liar because I haven't conceded in the slightest. All right. Let me make the screen this bigger. So let me just zoom in.
Okay.
Here. All right.
Okay, go. Awesome.
I'm just making it big on screen.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Great.
FG equals G, M1,
Okay.
M2 over R squared.
Great. So what does F stand for?
The force created by gravity.
Okay, go down a bit. Okay, gravitational constant. Correct?
Yes, that's the big G, yeah.
Yeah. The gravitational constant is measured how?
You can measure it by, calculating it from everything else. It's a constant in the universe.
Yeah, but how's it measured? By a mass acceleration, correct?
Well, no, that's not how you measure the constant. You get the constant from the maths behind it. The mass acceleration, the mass accelerating can give you the a simple force.
Craig is a stubborn mule. Oh my God! Answer the question, man. Quit mumbling,
That's not
man.
how you get big G. Big G is a ratio. It's like, so when to make it an equation, right? If you ignore that the G's there, and then we could just say that there's a force that's proportional to M1, M2 over R squared, right? G is what's called a function of proportionality. It turns a proportional, mathematical function into an equation that is
Flatzoid just taught you something, dude, and you're failing to even under. He just taught you something,
you can
Craig.
calculate by getting all the other details available, like M1, M2, the radius, the force, and then from that you would be able to calculate what the universal gravitational constant is.
Great. Okay. So mass 1 and mass 2, correct?
Yeah.
The attraction
That's
of
what
mass.
M1 and M2 is.
Yeah, so it's the traction between the two masses, correct?
No, it's the product of it's the the sum of the product.
Distance, which gives an attraction thanks to the force.
Well, the force is the force created by gravity.
Force.
Right, could you just do me a favor before we go on?
Let's read this. Wait. Let's read this equation.
Can you just steal man what this equation is? Could you just tell me what this equation says in simple words for us?
The force gives rise to a mass acceleration to another mass.
No, that's not what it says.
That's exactly what it says.
No.
And in other words, it's a derivative derived from F equals ma, Newton's second law of motion. Congratulations,
this is
Craig.
not right. Oh my God, that's wrong on so many levels. This is not derived from F equals ma in the slightest. That doesn't even make sense as a statement, showing that you literally have no clue about mathematics. F equals ma is classical mechanics. It's simply describing how a normal force acts, as in you have a mass and accelerate that mass and you can calculate a force. That's not what Newton's law of gravity says. Newton's law of gravity says that there is a force that is proportional to the product of two or more masses, and that's M1, M2, right? So the product of M1 and M2, and you can have M3, M4, M5, as many as you want. It's the product of two or more masses, right? So the force is proportional to the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. And that's what this over R squared means.
So
it means
acceleration over distance.
I'm still talking. It means the further away you get, the less force that gravity would apply.
So acceleration over distance, Craig?
No, not acceleration over distance.
You just said it.
In the slightest. No, I didn't. No, not at all. You don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Okay, so if I change my distance, would the accelerator values change, Craig?
No, the force applied would.
Would the accelerator values change, Craig?
No, the force applied would.
The accelerative...
The acceleration will still be the same.
Oh, so it doesn't matter the distance then, you would still have the same accelerative values then?
Yeah, it's the force, not the distance doesn't change the acceleration. I mean, like the acceleration for Earth is always going to be the acceleration depending on the amount of mass that you've got underneath you. The force that is applied is proportional, well, inversely proportional to the square of the distance, not the acceleration, the force.
Great. Now
the acceleration is still going to be the same. So, like the acceleration of, for instance, in space, if you take the solar system, right, the acceleration of a mass caused by the sun would be the same whether that object was right at the edge of the solar system or right next to the solar system. What would change would be the force applied.
Okay.
The actual acceleration is the same.
Okay, so again, you would agree that this mass the mass to accelerate requires a force.
In classical mechanics, we're talking about Newton's law of gravity right now.
You got it on screen. For the mass to be attracted to another mass, aka
could you show me where
to
the
have the G constant, you see that if
could you show me in this equation? Could you show me in the equation where the acceleration is, please?
Between m1 to m2 over the radius.
No, there's no acceleration there. Could you?
What do you think that G stands for, Craig? What do you think G stands for?
The universal gravitational constant. It's a ratio of proportionality.
Accelerational proportionality?
No, not acceleration.
So 9.8 meters per second squared is not acceleration.
No, that's not what that G is. That's not what that G is.
A constant. You don't have a constant of acceleration now.
You do know that in this equation that G is not little g, right?
I didn't say
it breaks down to little g, Craig. It breaks
that
down
G is
to
not
little
the
g.
acceleration value. That G is not on Earth 9.8 meters per second squared. You do
said
know that, right?
It breaks down to little g. It's derivative, Craig.
No, it's not. That's not what that word means.
Oh,
wow, you're talking yourself in holes, just like I think you should stop drinking. You must.
I'm really not. You've just said everything. You said that G is an acceleration.
I said it breaks down to an acceleration, little g.
No, it doesn't. That G does not break down to an acceleration. That is a ratio of proportionality, nothing more.
Okay, let's put it this way. So, do you require a force for the mass to accelerate?
If you're talking about Newton's classical mechanics, that's what Newton's classical mechanics says. But we are talking about Newton's law of gravity right now. We're talking about this formula on screen.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
So there's no A here.
Okay, let's put it this way. So if you take this one, if you take this and you say it's sorry.
This is so funny.
You do know your G's.
You don't even know what that G is. You thought that was the acceleration on Earth.
What do you think FG is, Craig? What do you think FG is? A force is an acceleration, right?
Brian, this guy should stop drinking. He's really making himself look stupid right now.
Hey, he's making himself look retarded,
you said
dude.
The big G was acceleration.
I don't think he can hear us anyway, Brian. He's on Zoom. I don't think Craig can hear us,
No,
Brian.
I don't think he can. But Craig.
No, he can't.
Craig, now how did they get big G?
Because it's a ratio of proportionality. You can calculate it with the rest of the details.
Yeah, based on what?
On whatever the rest of the details are.
On a force?
So if you know the force... Yeah, and you know the mass, you know the radius, you can calculate big G.
So how did they get the force?
By finding the, because the force, and I've said this several times, the force is proportional to the product of total masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So you calculate those things and boom, you get a force.
So acceleration then?
You add no! And then you add the G to change it from a proportionality to an equation, because the G is literally for that. It's not acceleration. Nothing in this equation is acceleration. It is a force that is proportional to certain things.
Guys.
So no motion.
There's no acceleration in this equation.
Okay, so when you claim Cavendish, tell me again how he got big G. Little g.
By figuring out the rest of the things. He knew what the masses were. He knew what the distance between them was. He calculated the force applied, and then he could figure out what big G was.
Thank you.
You can't get the mass without the density, and you can't get the density
without the mass. I don't think you understand what any of that meant, because if you're going to say the word derived, then you're going to say it wrong.
I think I need something stronger than coffee, guys, because wow.
Definitely. What's your point here about G?
You just literally...
You know how equations work, right? You can rearrange an equation to get something else. So to find out big G, all you need to do is know what the masses are, which Cavendish did because he had those masses on his torsion balance, know what the distance between those masses were, which he did because he put them there himself, figure out the product of the two masses, and then the square of the distance between them, and invert that, and you get F. And then what you can do is rearrange this formula for G and then calculate what G is, because that's how maths works.
So it had an acceleration, Craig.
Where's the acceleration in this equation? Could you point it out to me?
In the motion.
Yeah, the motion between mass 1 and mass 2, that's acceleration, Craig.
Could you point out where the acceleration in this equation is?
The proportionality between mass 1 and mass 2, Craig.
No, that's not what proportionality means.
The distance between mass 1 and mass 2 have an accelerated value, Craig.
When you say proportionality, the only thing in this equation that represents any kind of proportionality is big G, all right? So let's make this very clear for you. Big G is not acceleration, all right? Just so you know that. So stop saying that it's proportionality, because that doesn't make any sense. And big G is not acceleration.
Is big G derived from little g, Craig?
No, not in the slightest.
You sure about that?
Yeah, you don't derive big G from an average accelerative amount on the Earth. That's not how it works. You derive big G by having the two masses, the distance between those masses, and the force that was created, and then rearranging the formula.
Okay,
Derive little g from big G.
Yeah, so we can derive.
Do you know how rearranging the formula works? Like, for instance, let's talk about F equals ma, right? So if I wanted to calculate just A, how would I do that? Do you know? So I've got F equals ma, right? But what I want to find out is A. I don't want to find out F. I'm trying to find out A. So what do I do to that equation to make it so that A is the thing that we are finding?
Go on. I want you to say it out so you can see yourself that you're making my point. Come on. Go, but step further.
The question I'm asking you, do you know what you do?
I want it to come out of your mouth so you can see that you're the one making my point.
You don't know what you do then? So you don't know what you do. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to tell me. I've got F equals ma. This is just an example, right? But I want to calculate.
Why don't you rather break it to the moment of inertia then?
Okay, stop changing the subject. F equals ma. Right?
F equals ma F equals ma in itself.
Right, well, let's change that to K equals RV. All right.
Wait.
It doesn't matter what the numbers are. It doesn't matter what the variables are. Let's say K equals RV. Okay.
No,
right.
Craig.
K equals RV. Do you understand?
Craig.
No, hold on. We're doing some maths here together.
I'm trying to help you. Yeah? I'm trying to explain to you. If you
can't help me if I'm. All right, don't worry about F equals ma. Let's say K equals RV.
Listen.
Stop 1 second and work with me.
You stop and listen. F equals ma.
I'm in the middle of asking you a question and you are trying to interrupt. So let's do my question first, and then we can get to you. Please. Flatzoid, please. I'm asking you nicely. Can we do my question first, and then we get to yours? Flatzoid, I'm asking you nicely. Flatzoid, I'm asking you nicely. Yeah, I'm asking you nicely. Can we do my question first, and then we get?
I'm trying to give you the correct F equals ma, yeah, Craig.
Don't worry what the variables are. We're going to say K equals RV. All right.
I'm going to give you
an equation.
Oh, I think I can get it on screen.
Hold on. Just listen with me here.
Oh, yes, I still do have it.
Flatzoid, will you listen? All right. Let's take an equation. This equation is K equals RV.
No,
okay.
It's not.
Are you with me?
No, it's not.
Are you with me? Do you understand? Right. So we've got an equation. This equation is K equals RV. Did you understand, right?
No, it's not. Where's my page now? There we go.
Flatzoid, will you please listen to the words that I'm saying? I'm trying to talk to you. All right. Let's say we've got an equation where K equals RV. Are you with me?
No, we're dropping. We're going down to Newton's second law, and I'm taking you to the actual Newton's second law, not the F equals ma. That is only for certain abbreviations.
Yeah, that's. I know it's a very.
So I'm sharing my screen. I'm sharing my screen for you.
Yeah. Okay, but before you do, we're going to work with my question. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the screen share until you've answered my question, and then we get to that. Okay.
Ooh,
so I've got a question for you first. Well, no, because I'm in the middle of asking you a question, and then I promise we will get to that. Okay, not running away. I 100% promise that I will get to you, but I want you to answer my question first, please. I'm respectfully asking you to just listen to my question and respond. Right. So we've got an equation. This equation is K equals RV. Right? You with me?
I don't care. I'm talking about the F equals MA.
Okay. Well, and we get to that. We will get to that. Please deal with my question first.
No, I'm talking about second law of motion. Okay, and I'm trying to explain.
We're going to get to that. Please respectfully work with my question, and then we will. I'm asking you nicely. I'm asking you nicely. Please work with me with this question, and then we will get to you.
I'm asking you nicely to stick to the topic because you keep obfuscating.
I am sticking to the topic, but I want you to answer this question first. I have an equation. The equation is K equals RV. I want to calculate V. What do I need to do to that equation to calculate
K times
V?
R.
Tell me.
K times R.
Right, fantastic. So in the same way, if I've got F equals MA, what do I do if I want to calculate A?
The force applied on the mass.
Force divided by the mass, not applied on the mass.
That's applied, yeah. That's applied.
No, divided by is not applied.
Okay, so the mass doesn't have a force applied to it to give the acceleration. Is that what you're saying?
There's a force acting on a mass.
Okay, now I'm sharing my screen. Can you please...
divided by doesn't mean applied. So just the equation is F divided by M equals A. Right? So we agree on these things, okay?
Okay.
Right, so let's go back. No, how easy was that? See? If you'd just done that, we wouldn't have had problems.
Okay.
Right?
This is
I am more than happy to have this up, right? So yeah, this is Newton's law, and it's in its expanded form. Obviously, F equals ma is in a specific
not an expanded form.
Okay. Yes, it is. This is the expanded form of Newton's law that is not on the specific statements, on the specific cases.
This is Newton's second law. F equals ma is only
yes, the expanded version, the expanded version compared to what we learn in high school, right?
F equals
Newton's second law can be described as F equals ma. This is the expanded version.
Can I talk?
Yeah. As long as you get things right, that's cool.
First of all, the normal F equals ma is rudimentary level. I know. I just said that it's the
basic version under a very good. I've just said that. Yes.
This is the real second law. It's based on the momentum.
I mean, the other one's the real second law as well. Yeah, they're both the real second law.
But that's the most basic, rudimentary version. It's only based on specific cases.
They're still both the second law. They're still, they're both the real second law.
That's for specific cases. That F equals ma is for specific cases.
It still doesn't stop it being the second law. It is Newton's second law, just as this is. So, this is just an expanded version of it that isn't just specific cases.
Okay,
you need to invite me to the call so I can moderate, bro.
No stress, Brian. Okay, so anyway, so the F equals ma is only a derivative of this one, correct?
Could you show me where it says derivative there?
Is it a derivative of this equation, Craig? Do you get the same?
No, that's not what the word. That's not what the word derivative means.
So you don't get the same results?
That's not what the word derivative means.
So I can't derive the same results, Craig?
That's not what the word derivative means.
The time derivative of momentum. It says on screen, Craig.
Yeah, that's not the derivative of the equation. That's not saying that F equals ma is a derivative of this.
What's momentum? Does momentum?
Do you know what derivative? Do you know what the time derivative of momentum means? Can you describe that sentence in brackets? Please describe that sentence for me,
Craig. If you would let me talk for more than 2 seconds at a time, we can actually get somewhere.
Yeah, please describe that sentence for me.
Can you let me talk? So we can get more.
Yeah, I need you to describe that sentence first.
Can you shut the hell up? Can you shut the hell up and let me talk for a while?
Yeah, but I don't know what that sentence means. I need you to tell me.
If you would let me talk, then you can hear what I'm saying. But you don't let
brilliant.
me talk.
So the time derivative of the momentum. Could you tell me what that means?
Like I'm saying. So if you know what momentum is, you would understand what F equals ma is, Craig. So therefore, you would know what
I know what momentum is, so that's fine.
Your Newtonian gravity stands for, Craig, because it's based
Oh,
of
no, it doesn't.
the rate of change of the mass.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, Newton's law is proportional to the the product of total mass and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. That's it.
Which has acceleration, Craig.
He said it wasn't proportional.
Where in that equation is there acceleration?
Are you throwing Newtonian physics out of the window, or Newtonian gravity out of the window, and saying it's not a force?
I'm just saying that Newton's classical mechanics is not the same thing as Newton's law of gravity.
So you are throwing out, everybody heard this, he's throwing out Newtonian gravity as a force.
Well, I've never said that Newtonian gravity is a force. It creates a force. I've said this many times, and I've asked you to steelman me, and you failed. By saying that, you strawmanned me. What I have said, and what the globe says, and what we've always said, is that gravity creates a force that is proportional to the product of total masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them.
Okay, now I'm going to correct you, Craig. According to
But
Newtonian,
you're going to say something wrong.
according to Newtonian gravity, it is the force that creates the acceleration. Why are you taking off screen? I
Nope,
still got on.
completely incorrect. Oh, it's the same
Okay,
thing. We don't
Okay.
do that over and over.
Yes, it is correct.
So again, no,
Now-
it's not. The force is created by the masses. That it's not the other way around. The force is proportional. You need to understand the words proportional to the product of total masses, inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them.
So momentum then.
Get that? No, not momentum.
No momentum
Where you got that from?
between accelerator forces. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what that equation says. That equation does not say momentum. That equation says that a force will be created based on these things. Right? Now,
And that is the force. He's
let's move
retarded,
on from
dude.
your misunderstanding and absolute failure to steelman gravity and talk about evidence of gravity.
Craig,
right?
this whole stream has just
No,
gone. This whole stream has just gone.
It's right. We're done with you being dim, and now we're going to talk about the evidence of gravity, right? And I want to talk specifically about something that I've got personal experience with.
Wait,
So-
we haven't even got
No,
past
it's
the
right.
first point yet. We haven't got past the
No,
first
we're
point
done with
yet.
that now. We're getting on to evidence of gravity. What you've shown is that you can't steelman gravity.
Wait.
You don't know how to. You
Craig.
don't know what any of these things mean. You don't know what the word derivative means. You don't know how an equation is. You don't know what a constant proportionality is. You don't know what acceleration is or what a force actually is. So what we're going to do now is talk about the evidence for gravity. And I'm going to keep saying Craig all you want, but I'm not finished talking. Okay?
Craig, do you know what?
You can say Craig all you like, but I'm not finished talking, right?
Do you
What
know
we're
what-
going to talk about
do you know
now-
what impulse is?
I'm not finished talking. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait till I finish talking and then you can respond.
You've been talking the whole time,
So-
Craig. So
Yeah,
you
so
can
what we're
give
going to
me a
do is
chance.
we're going to
You can show.
yeah,
a
what we're
bit
going
of-
to do now is we're
you
going
can
to
show
let
a
me
bit of
give evidence
respect.
for gravity, and then you're going to respond to that.
No,
Okay?
you can show. a
We're
bit of
done
res-
with not understanding gravity now, and we're going to move on to the evidence for gravity.
okay, you
So I would
can-
like specifically to talk about an evidence for gravity, and then you can respond. Fantastic,
you
right?
can give me
I'm
a
going to
little
talk about something that
respect.
I have specific. Yeah, I'm giving you respect, but I will let you have the mic
No.
after I've given my evidence for
You
gravity.
can give
all
me
right?
respect and let me say
No,
my closing statement to that subject. How's that?
we're done with that. It's done now. It's okay.
You can let me have
We're on to
respect
evidence.
to be able to give my closing statement for that subject. How's that?
But you didn't understand. You didn't steelman me, so you don't really have a closing
Again,
statement.
you
Failed
can
to
give me
steelman.
the respect that I can give the closing statement for that
Right,
subject. How's
10
that?
seconds, and then I'm going to give my evidence. All right, on you go.
Great. So my 10 seconds is me saying, Craig, you just threw away gravity as a force, conceded it was derivative of.
Okay,
not
and we're going
having
to
the
stop there
same-
because you're lying by saying you lie. You don't get to lie by saying I conceded.
Wow. Run,
right?
coward,
I'll
run.
let you-
Run, coward.
I'll let you have the 10 seconds if you don't lie by saying I conceded
Lie.
because I didn't.
Lie.
Right?
You conceded multiple times.
I conceded nothing. No, I conceded nothing.
And the fact you don't know what impulse means.
Flatzoid,
The fact you don't know what
we
impulse
haven't
means
even-
tells everybody everything.
we haven't talked about the word impulse.
Craig
so,
said he
that's
never
completely
claimed
irrelevant.
Newtonian was
So
a
what
force.
we're going to do now,
Never claimed it
as
was
you
a force.
failed to steelman the position, right? We're going to move on to the evidence for gravity.
There is none. That's simple. There is none.
Well, there's lots and lots and lots and lots and
No,
lots and
there
lots and
isn't.
lots of industries, right? And we're going to talk specifically about something that I have personal experience with. As everyone knows, I was a petty officer in the Royal Navy. You know, that's what I did for a large portion of my life. That's where I got my degree in physics, and it's where I got my degree in nuclear engineering, energy systems, and fission technology. Specifically working on submarines for a long, long time. Specifically, Trafalgar-class submarines, amazing boats. Now, submarines are very, very expensive bits of equipment, and they're designed mainly for stealth purposes. And of course, to be stealthy, that means you can't give out any signals, like sonar or GPS pinging and stuff, because enemies can pick those up. But submarines also need to be able to navigate. They don't have windows. They can't see out and see what's going on when they're underwater. Dead reckoning can only work for a certain amount. You can't see if there's something underwater. So submarines need a way to be able to see in real time the underground layout, the underwater layout, the ocean floor.
Called sonar, idiot.
They need a way to see this in real time so that they can navigate successfully, so they don't crash into underwater mountains. Because underwater mountains are a big thing. Like Everest, you might think that's a big mountain, but no, there's mountains underwater that are 3-4 times the size of Everest, and you don't want to crash into them, right? So a submarine needs a way to navigate without also alerting everyone else around. And the way that a submarine does this is with something called gravity anomaly navigation.
Gravimeters.
Over years and years and years, there's been gravity maps created of Earth, including of the ocean floor. And what a submarine does when navigating is it uses these gravity maps to navigate, and it will compare the maps that are created to information they can gather in real time. And the way they can gather this information in real time is there is a series of accelerometers around the submarine. So, and these accelerometers are very technical bits of kit, but on a basic level, they are a spring with a weight on that is enclosed within a box and connected to a series of sensors to be able to tell if there's measurement difference in the spring. Right. As the submarine is going along,
Craig, I already know the argument. I don't know why you have
I haven't finished. I'm giving the arguments.
What you're talking about, and I can debunk it straight away.
I'm giving the arguments so that everyone can hear it. So shush. Thank you. Right. So there's a series of these accelerometers that are basically a spring with a weight on, that connected to a series of sensors that can detect the minutest changes in the pressure being applied to the springs. And as a submarine, for instance, sails over an underwater mountain, that means that, according to what we understand about gravity, there will be more mass underneath the submarine. And that means that these series of accelerometers will detect the difference in the force created by gravity, accelerating the spring, the weight on that spring, or the different weights on the series of these accelerometers. In real time, it can detect what's going on. The spring will move. The weight will drag it down if there is more mass beneath it. And it does this successfully to navigate around the world. So my question to you is, how do you explain that if gravity is not a real thing?
First of all, gravity is not a force.
Again, gravity creates a force. Don't strawman me. So let's go with that.
What is gravity? How does it create a force?
By with the mass is proportional. I've explained all that. So
so an acceleration then. So because we see an acceleration between masses, therefore you say it has a force.
The mass is moving. There is a larger force being applied to that mass.
So then gravity is a force,
which is proportional to the two masses, i.e. the mass on the spring and the mass of the mountain. It's proportional to those two masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. That is the force that is calculated and that the submarine uses in real time to navigate. So, okay, what is going on?
So then you would agree that there is a force that's causing a mass to accelerate.
Gravity is creating a force that is making a mass accelerate, yes.
No, the mass acceleration is creating gravity, as you said. Now, and you're saying gravity creates the force. How can
gravity
they cause
is creating
each
a
other?
force, yes.
So gravity is creating a force.
Gravity is creating a force,
but you just said the force is creating the mass of attraction.
I said that gravity is creating a force that is proportional to the product of the two masses, i.e. the spring and the mountain, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. This means that the mass will accelerate slightly towards the ground. There will be a stronger force applied to the string. You can calculate the acceleration because around the Earth, it's on average 9.8 meters per second squared. But when you go over... That is yes, yeah. But when you go over the mountain, little g gets bigger.
So little g derived from big G.
That's not what derived means. No, you don't derive little g from a ratio of proportionality. Those are not things that can happen.
Did we get little g from big G, Craig?
No, we did not get little g from big G.
You just did. You said it out loud now to everybody.
No, I didn't. Big G is a ratio proportionality. That is nothing to do with little g.
Wow. You keep double speaking, so you can't decide what you want then. Okay, but let's do it this way. Based on
There's no double speaking. Right.
Okay,
I want you to tell me what's going on. Why is that accelerometer reacting to the mass below it? What's going on?
Wait. The argument is proof for gravity, correct?
Evidence for gravity. Science doesn't really care about.
Gravity is not a force.
Gravity creates a force.
No. Gravity is not a force.
Yes, gravity creates a force. Gravity creates a force.
Okay, Craig, can I speak more than 2 seconds? Gravity is not a force.
Once you agree that gravity creates a force, then you can carry on.
Again, gravity is not a force. Okay.
Right, it creates a force, 100%.
Can you shut the hell up so I can talk?
I'm agreeing with you. Gravity is not a force. It creates a force.
There's no force attributed at all to gravity. It's only a mathematical effect.
The force of gravity, according to Newton's law of gravity, is proportional to the product of masses inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So there absolutely is a force according to gravity. It's literally the force created by gravity.
Okay. I just wanted to explain to you, okay? So according to general relativity...
You're avoiding the question.
I'm trying to get 2 words out of my mouth, which you're not letting me. So according to general relativity... According to general relativity, gravity is not a force, so you cannot have an actual acceleration of that spring. Because according to general relativity, the ground is accelerating.
You're ignoring the question. The spring is accelerating and it works. So tell me what's going on.
Listen to what I'm saying. Okay?
I don't care what you're saying. I want you to answer the question that I have asked you. What is going on?
I am trying to get there if you let me talk.
Why does it work in real time that we can measure the difference in mass? Explain.
Craig, listen. Relax. Okay?
Do not go off on nonsense about Einstein and that you don't understand. Just tell me what is happening.
Listen. I know it's hard.
Can you tell me what's happening?
I know it's hard.
Can you tell me what's happening? Why is that happening? Tell me.
I know this is very hard.
Tell me what's
happening.
happening.
The
tell me what's happening.
If you would shut up, I can explain it.
Shush. Okay, cool. Tell me what's happening. Don't go on and babble about Einstein. Just tell me what is happening.
Finger on your mouth, Craig. Be a little good boy.
Yeah, so tell me what's happening.
Yeah, be a little good boy. Be a little
waiting
good boy.
for you.
Be a little good boy. Shut up so I can talk. Okay, will you mute yourself? Thank you. Okay. So, Craig, if you can
answer my question, I will interrupt you.
Shh, I'm busy. Okay.
So what's happening? Tell me what's happening.
So, remember, the argument is gravity is causing that to be pulled down. But we know gravity is not a force because
gravity creates a force.
General relativity has superseded.
Yeah, we're talking about Newton's law of gravity right now. Newton's law of gravity has not been superseded.
Newton's gravity is superseded 180 years ago.
No, it's not. Actually, it's not what you showed. Said Newton's
problem. And the problem is,
you're wrong.
And the problem is that according to the construct of gravity at the moment,
what you just said was wrong.
The ground is.
What you just said was wrong. What you just said was wrong.
The ground
what you just said was wrong. What you just said was wrong. So you need to correct yourself before you carry on.
The ground.
So you need to correct yourself before you carry on.
The ground.
Yeah. Before you carry on, mate, you need to correct the mistake you made.
The ground. You guys like my robot impersonation.
I understand you're broken. Before you carry on, you need to correct the mistake you made.
The ground is
Can you correct the mistake you made? Can you correct the mistake you made? So can you correct the mistake you made, or
the ground is rising?
So you can't correct the mistake you made.
The ground is rising.
Okay, cool. So you're happy with having a mistake there, all right? So with what you're doing is you're basing the next words on a faulty premise because you made a mistake.
The ground is rising towards the spring. The spring is only an effect that it is being pulled down to the ground. Now, if the spring
And
is
it's a measurable thing going on.
zero, if the spring is 0 net g, it cannot be pulled down to the string, to the claw, and therefore your gravimeter saying force.
But it is happening. This is what's happening.
Proves it is not gravity doing that.
No, that's
on
actually
the
wrong, because
gravimeter.
that's what we expect for gravity to happen. So it is what the predictions of gravity are. So I would like you to please now, as you avoided the question completely, explain what is happening.
Okay, I'm going to give you one more chance, Craig. You're going to listen to me without interruptions, or this is never going to happen again. Or this is never going to happen again, because the disrespect coming from your side is really bad.
There is no disrespect. You are showing me a lot of disrespect by refusing to answer my questions and lying to me constantly.
You're not letting me talk, Craig, at all.
Because you keep making mistakes and then not correcting yourself.
No, I can't help you ignorant to your own religion. And you can't keep up to date.
I don't have a religion.
And you can't keep...
I don't have an... Wait. So let's, before you carry on...
Castaway, thank you for coming, mate.
Let's correct the mistake that you made before you continue. Newton's law of gravity wasn't superseded. That's the mistake you made. You said Newton's gravity was superseded. No, Newton's classical mechanics was superseded, not Newton's law of gravity. So Newton's law of
gravity is derived from the mechanics, mate.
No, it's not. That's not in the slightest, no.
So mass, you don't require force for mass to accelerate.
That's not Newton's law of gravity. Is not Newton's classical mechanics. They're different things.
Do you require a force?
When you say, that's an irrelevant question. When you say that Newton's law of gravity was superseded, you are wrong. It's Newton's classical mechanics that was superseded. So just get it right, and then it's fine. But you avoided the question. The question is, what is happening? Why is that weight on that spring going down when you go over an underwater mountain that allows us in real time to map the world around us under the sea and not crash into the mountains? What is happening? Why is that occurring if gravity, the predictions of gravity that we have, are all wrong?
Okay, now can I talk, Craig?
Yeah.
Did you try and be a man enough and stop talking over me while I'm talking so I can get my statement?
Yeah, just don't make mistakes, dude. Yeah, just don't make mistakes.
I can't help you're ignorant to your religion.
I'm not the one with ignorance about gravity. It's you. I would love for you to answer the question.
Again, Craig.
So please go ahead.
Again, Craig. Okay? Gravity is not a force. According to the current model...
I've never said gravity is a force.
According to the current model...
You strawman me straight away. You can't carry on if you strawman me. Do not strawman me.
According to the current model of gravity, the ground is rising up to meet that spring.
That's one way of explaining it, yes.
So the spring has 0 net force. Correct?
You can measure a force on the spring, though, in Newtonian mechanics.
So then gravity is not the reason for the gravimeter then?
But it's the exact reason for it.
Listen, it measures a force.
Because Newton's law of gravity, which has never been debunked.
According to gravity...
Newton's law of gravity hasn't been superseded, has it?
According to gravity, the spring has no force, but you measure a force on the spring. So therefore, gravity has...
Well, Newton's law of gravity says there's a force created. Well, that's you not understanding gravity. You've avoided the question once again. What is going on? Why is that spring reacting to the mass of the Earth underneath it? What is happening?
Again, the argument was... I'm going to share my screen again.
Stop avoiding the question. Answer the question. What is happening?
I'm trying to. Okay.
No, all you keep going is gravity's not real. You're not answering the question as to what is happening.
Okay.
So,
let me draw.
Are you going to answer that question?
Let me draw.
Are you going to answer that question? Are you going to answer the question?
Let me show you what I'm showing, Craig. Can you see my screen?
Are you going to answer the question? Are you going to answer the question? Yes or no?
Can you see my screen, Craig?
No, I can't see your screen, not until you answer my question.
So you don't want to show everybody what I'm showing?
I would like you to answer my question first. I would like you to answer my question, and then I'll show you.
Why are you not showing everybody on screen what I got you, Craig?
Because I'm asking you your question, and you keep avoiding the question. I would just like you to answer the question. What is happening? Why is that spring, the mass on the spring moving down towards the ground when you go over an underwater mountain? Why is that happening? Please answer that question.
Tonight's topic is about gravity, so I don't need to
Yeah, and
replace.
this is my evidence for gravity.
Listen. I don't need to
This is my
replace.
evidence for gravity.
And I'm telling
So
you why it's wrong,
answer-
Craig.
It's not. I need you to explain why it happens if it's not gravity, because that is the predictions of gravity.
And I'm trying to. Okay, so can you quickly show my screen, Craig?
Yeah, your screen's showing. Answer the question though.
Cool.
Before you carry on, answer the question. Okay,
That's exactly what I answered. I don't need to make. Listen.
The question is, why is it happening?
You're starting to really waste my time here, Craig. The question is.
Well, no, you're not answering the question.
Tonight, it's about you proving gravity. I don't need to
This
replace
is my evidence for gravity.
Listen, I don't need to replace it.
This is what gravity says will happen.
I am here.
Wait, this is what gravity says will happen.
I am here to show you.
Right, so you're straw manning gravity right now, then.
I'm here to show you why this
So
is.
you're straw manning gravity, then.
I'm here to show you why this is not gravity.
So you're straw manning gravity.
No, I'm here to show you why this is not gravity.
So you're straw manning gravity because gravity says this is what should happen, and what you're doing is avoiding the question. This is my evidence of gravity. Gravity says this should happen. Yeah, you are straw manning gravity because this is what gravity says should happen.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So you need to answer the question: why is it happening? Why can we use gravity anomalies to navigate?
You need a moderator, man. You need a moderator.
Please tell me.
Okay, Craig. This is the spring. This is the ground of the gravimeter. Okay, it's in a vacuum now. Correct. So every time you go,
there's several of them in contained units.
Okay, yeah, like I said. So what happens? This spring pulls downwards, correct?
Absolutely. But it does that when the submarine goes over more mass.
Great.
Specifically.
So you would agree this requires a force